Welcome to historic Kinsman Field in North Vancouver. It's the second of the L1BC men's semi-final action. TSS Rovers booked their place in next Sunday's championship game with a big 4-1 win at Swangard against Harbourside. And Friday night, and they will be joined in that championship game by either defending champs Vancouver Whitecaps or first-time playoff appearers and looking to get to the championship game for the first ever time, Altitude FC. This game being played at Kinsman Field because Altitude finished second in the regular season standings, 2 points ahead of the Whitecaps. The teams met twice over the regular season. Both were 1-1 draws. So this should be a close one this afternoon. I'll get straight in to the starting lineups for Vancouver Whitecaps, lining up in a 4-4-2 formation. Ewan Fisher has number 99, Mateus de Souza in goal. Number 34, Riley Ferraro. Number 55, Cameron Hadju. Number 64, Luka Banovic. Number 68, Cristiano da Silva. Number 72, Nikos Clark-Tozak. Number 73, Sahil Dale. 79, Matteo Samori. 88, Yuma Suji. 94 is Edwin Aspinall. And number 95, Marcus Rukavina. For head coach Fally Bass, unchanged from the side that beat Burnaby 4-0 last weekend to clinch their home field advantage. In goal, number 50, Luca Orta. Number 3, Wiz Shavula. Number 4, Ali Azamanu. Number 6, Matthew Marshall. Number 8, Giordano Pinto. Number 10, Stasia Hale. Number 17, Oliver Herbert. Number 18, Sairub. Number 19, Ambrose Tinmouth. Number 22, Nathan Walters. And number 95, Hulk Tip. I'm your match commentator, Michael McCall. I'll have the call for you all afternoon here on YouTube, whether you're watching live or on demand. Thank you for supporting and watching L1BC. We like to make these broadcasts interactive as well if you can. No YouTube chat. So if you want to get in touch during the broadcast, you can do so on Twitter/X at AFTN Canada. That's AFTN Canada. Or shoot me an email, aftncanada@hotmail.com, and we'll get through your comments about this match in the League One season as the game goes on. Altitude in their sky blue jerseys and shorts, going from right to left in the first half here. Whitecaps in their blue jerseys with the white band and white shorts, left to right. Altitude will get this one underway, and it's Sairub standing over the ball here, coming into this one in a good form. A brace in that 4-0 win over Burnaby. Lucas Booth also getting 2 goals on that one. Whitecaps heading into this one. Just 1 win in their last 4 matches to round off the regular season. They've scored in every game though, but it's a very short-handed young Whitecaps side this afternoon. We'll get a little bit into that one as the action gets underway. And referee Amir Ramic blows his whistle, and this one is underway. First assistant referee this afternoon is Max Oldendorf. Second assistant referee Liam Abreu. And the fourth official, Stephen Librechthausen. Whitecaps defending early from the kickoff, and a big boot up the field, which Nathan Walters will deal well with. As mentioned, the Whitecaps, only 4 players on sub-bench for them this afternoon, and it's a young Whitecap side. It's always a young Whitecap side, but it's even younger this afternoon with a slew of the under-17 players in the lineup as Sairub plays that forward, trying to play that one in to Tinmouth, adjudged for the foul, and the Whitecaps will get a free kick deep in their box. The reason that the Whitecaps have this young team out this afternoon, they've lost players back to the college ranks. And I'll break off from that as Herbert on the ball. 5 assists on the season. Oliver Herbert for Altitude. He's going to be a very key player for them this afternoon. Second in the league in assists, Oliver Herbert. Player that came through the Whitecaps Academy. He'll be wanting to make a mark against his former team as a Hale threads that one through. Flag stays down on Sairub. He tries to centre that, but it's a good block by Clark-Tozak. And that's going to bring up the first corner of the afternoon, and it goes the way of the home team. And it's a very good turnout for this one. Free admission this afternoon and the bleachers are packed here on the North Shore. It's a beautiful day in North Vancouver, beautiful day for the beautiful game, and we'll see what Altitude can do for this. Herbert sends it high into the box, onto the head of Tip, and he heads that one wide. The big centre back, 1 goal and 3 assists on the season for the German. He has been one of the most influential players on this Altitude side all season long. As the wind picks up, you can hear it going through the mic here. Herbert wins that ball back. Cuts to the outside, Herbert goes for goal, and it's tipped over by D'Souza. Great strike there from Oliver Herbert and Matthias D'Souza. More than a match for that one. It's going to bring up a second corner now for Altitude. 2 corners in quick succession. Can they make this one pay? Sairub over to take this set piece opportunity, and referee Ramic just calming things down in the 6-yard box. Sairub sends that one into the near post. It's cleared by the Whitecaps. Not too far though. Picked up, miscontrolled there by Shavula, almost letting Samori in there. But Altitude get it back. It's whipped into the box onto the head of Walters, who can't connect that one goalwards. Run through now to Tip. Herbert will play it back. Another miscontrol there from Shavula. It's very unlike with Shavula. Altitude keep it alive though. Marshall tries to cut that one back, and again an important block, this time from Cameron Haju. Tip with a delivery onto the head of Sairub. It's a loop-in header, and it's brought down well by D'Souza in the Whitecaps goal. He's certainly had a lot of touches of the ball early on in this one. And just a big boot up the field for the Whitecaps. This game just played over the 90 minutes. If they're tied at the end of the 90, it goes straight to penalty kicks. Neither team will ideally want to go down that route though, if they can help it. Espinal. Ball played back there to D'Souza, and he has to show good footwork to deal with that. Altitude though win it back. They're really pressing hard in the early going here, looking for that early breakthrough, following a pattern of TSS on Friday night, who did get that breakthrough in the first 5 minutes and then went on to win that one 4-1. And Altitude were in a battle in the running for top of the regular season standings with TSS, looking for that Canadian Championship spot. All swung on a 1-0 game here at Kinsman Field on July 7th. The Rovers coming away with a victory and first place in the regular season standings. Still a fantastic season though for Altitude. 6 wins, 3 draws, and just the 3 defeats for the North Shore side. As that one played has to get dealt with there by Banovic, and he can't keep it in. It's going to bring up a third corner now for Altitude. Sairub over on the far side again to take this one. Herbert going short as well, pulling Suji out of position here, and it goes short to Herbert. He gives a return ball to Sairub, who can't get the cross in. It's well blocked there by the Caps. A little bit of hesitation there from Altitude, almost punished by Espinal, but Altitude get the ball back as a Manu now. Chips that one forward. It's cut out though by the Caps, and they will get a chance to bring this one out the back, and they haven't really had a chance to get any attack going yet, the Whitecaps. It's played up now though to Samori, taking off his foot, and again Altitude will win it back and try and get something going. And good footwork here from Stasio Hale, who's another player that's had a very strong end to the season for Altitude. And Azamanu now won't take any chances, plays that back to his keeper, and Luca Ortu sends that one high in to touch from the 19-year-old, making his 7th appearance of the season. 3 clean sheets to his name so far over the regular season. Aheo trundling away under the pressure there from 2 Caps, and the Whitecaps give up the free kick. Altitude thought about taking it quickly, but want to get this settled and get the players up the field, and again they'll just bring this one out from the back. Whitecaps heading into this one, as I mentioned, just 1 win in their last 4 matches. They have scored in every single game, but they've only managed to keep the 1 clean sheet so far, and that goes a long way to explaining their 22 goals for, 22 goals against record, so a 0 goal difference coming into this one. They are the 3rd highest scorers in the league. Interestingly, Altitude the 3rd lowest with just 20 goals, but Altitude have the best defensive record. Just 14 goals conceded in their 12 regular season matches, 1 better than TSS, and it's a very tough Altitude side to break down. And when you look at the turnaround from Altitude as well, in 3 of their first 4 matches, they were kept off the score sheet. They went down to a big 6-0 loss to TSS, but since then they have bounced back fantastically and very much deserve to be in the playoffs for the first time, and pushing hard here for the opening goal. Shavula plays that one back to Marshall. And Shavula sent crashing to the deck there by Yumasuji, a newish name to this Whitecaps lineup. The 16-year-old Japanese-Canadian made his debut just last week in the game at Kamloops on July 20th. 12 minutes under his belt in that one. Whitecaps liked what they saw and start him today. Sairub standing over this free kick. 2-man wall for the Caps. Sairub sends it into the box, onto the head of Tip. He can direct that one goalwards though, and that's going to go behind for the Whitecaps. Now, I mentioned Suji there. There's a number of under-17 call-ups in the Whitecaps side today, and it's basically a knock-on effect from the Wrexham friendly that the Whitecaps had yesterday. 6 WFC2 players called up for that game, which meant a number of League One players called up for the Whitecaps game in Salt Lake City against Real Monarchs this afternoon, and as a result, under-17 players called into the Whitecaps team. Suji on the ball, playing that one inside to De Silva. Cristiano De Silva, a lot's going to be expected for him this afternoon for the Whitecaps if they're going to get anything happening. De Silva has been one of the star performers all season long for this Whitecaps side, and he's standing over this corner kick just now. Some movement in the box, not fully committed for this one. The Whitecaps, it's punched away by Ortu, but the ball went out and back in there from De Silva, and the flag up very quickly by the near side assistant referee. If you're looking for the players to keep an eye out for in this one from a Whitecaps perspective, you've got to look at the number 79, Matteo Samori, 18-year-old, born in Milan before moving to Calgary, joined the Whitecaps in August 2020 here in Vancouver from the Alberta Academy. He was their joint highest scorer in the under-19s as they played their winter season in the Fraser Valley Soccer League. And he comes into this game with 4 goals and 3 assists. Samori is the joint leading scorer for the Whitecaps in the regular season. David Ajagbe, Sydney Wathuta, also with 4 goals. Ajagbe called up to WFC2 for their game this afternoon. Sydney Wathuta back to the college ranks. De Silva now plays that one out wide. It's a long ball over the top, running through there to D'Souza, and I'm just pausing there because slight change from the lineup that is entered in the League One app for the Whitecaps, but we'll get to that in a sec as Oliver Herbert storms forward. Number 74 is Benjamin Lee on the roster, as Aheo cuts that one back. Not sure that is Benjamin Lee that is wearing the number 74 jersey, so it looks to be a different player, but we'll clarify that, and hopefully the app can get updated at some point here. Also, the Whitecaps have added a 5th player to their bench now in Jaden Mineta. I'm pretty sure that the number 74 is Sahil Dale, and him and Benjamin Lee have swapped numbers, so we'll go with that until there's any corrections. If any of the Whitecaps are listening and can let me know. It's the ball out on the far side for another altitude throw in midway in the Whitecaps half. Hauke tip over for this one. If you haven't watched altitude before, the German has a huge long throw in him that you're going to see here. It's a very effective weapon as it's cleared by Rukavina only as far as Shavula to the edge of the box. Suji can't clear it, but the flag up on Aheo, who strayed back from an offside position there. And D'Souza just slowing things down. Whitecaps, I think when you look at the difference in the rosters and the youngness of this team, if it ends up going to penalties, they wouldn't be too disappointed with that. They just have to play a very tight defensive game here because they know they're going to be under a lot of pressure from the North Shore boys. And here go altitude again. Herbert picks up the loose ball, plays it inside to Aheo. Sairoop's making the overlapping run. Aheo cuts inside and just overruns that one. And Rukavina will bring this out for the Caps. Suji now plays that up for Samori to try and chase down, but Marshall does a good job playing that back to his keeper. And calmness from Ortu out to Shavula. Kept in by Attitude, and they'll bring this one. Shavula again. Forced back though. It's been a very common sight so far in the opening minutes here that two Whitecaps players pressing hard on the Altitude boys when they're defending in their own half. Dale, touch inside to Suji. And it's taken off from Samori there. Altitude break it up. Aheo now has a chance to power forward. Put under pressure by De Silva. Hale holds off De Silva, cuts it back. It falls nicely to Herbert. Good footwork by Oliver Herbert, and he tucks it away. We've got the opening goal here at Kinsman Field, 16 minutes in. It's 1-0 to Altitude, and Oliver Herbert, fantastic footwork in the box. He leads the team on assists, and he now tucks away his first goal of the year. And what a crucial goal that could be for Oliver Herbert. He broke the play up initially there. And Stasio Hare did a good job holding off De Silva. Cuts it back to Herbert, who still had a lot of work to do. Side step 2 challenges there before firing that one past D'Souza. And Altitude have the breakthrough that their early play very much deserves. And that goal doesn't change too much for the Whitecaps. They don't need to get away too much from the game plan just yet. But it may force them out of their shell a little bit, and they're going to have to try and get something going in attack, which they failed to do so through the first quarter of an hour here. Altitude sensing if they can get a second here. It won't have put the game to bed, but will put them in a very comfortable position. Tinmouth holding off Clark Tozak. And winning a throw in for his side over on the far side as well. This is just what Fally Bass will have drawn up in his game plan heading into this one. Can Altitude add to the tally here? Tip with the long throw. Bullet into the box. It falls onto the head of Tinmouth, who manages to direct that towards goal. D'Souza coming up with the big save though, as Altitude pressing over and over here. And the Whitecaps being really pinned back here. They're being out-muscled on the ball as Herbert flicks that one through to Sairub. Sairub gets the cross in, comes through to the back to Shavula. Sends it back to a Hale, and it's flicked in by Herbert, but the flag up on the far side. Herbert nearly his second of the game there. Just straying offside, but that was good movement from Altitude. And the Whitecaps rocking at the back here under a lot of pressure. Suji now gets a chance to bring this one out. De Silva powering forward. Azamanu tries with the tackle. De Silva holds on to it. Just him and Espinal not quite on the right page there. But the Whitecaps keep this one alive. It's whipped in, looking to try and play in Samori, but that one's just going to run through into the arms of Ortu. Been a good fast-paced start by both teams. Altitude though certainly in the ascendancy here, and we know how good and dangerous though this Whitecap side are. They are the defending League 1 BC champions, and they will not want to give up their title without a fight. And you feel Altitude are going to want to try and get that second goal to give them a little bit of breathing space. The two regular season meetings, Whitecaps took the lead in the first one before getting pegged back. Carson Bushman-Dormand tying it up there. And then 4 days later, the rematch here at Kinsman Field, it was Altitude that took the lead before the Whitecaps came back and tied things up in the second half. And Azamanu judged for the challenge there going through Samori. Referee Ramic giving Azamanu an explanation as to why he gave that foul. I'm not sure if it's a last warning though. It seems pleasant enough discussion. Ali Azamanu has been a good addition to Altitude, and being sent off the field for a little bit of uniform adjustment. Seems to be something about his shin pads that the referee not too happy about there. So temporarily Altitude down a man as the Whitecaps have this free kick. Espinal and De Silva standing over it. Everyone back for Altitude, as they're hoping Azamanu can possibly get things sorted out before this free kick's taken. That looks highly unlikely though. Looks like it is going to be Espinal that will play this in, and he plays it out to the outside instead to Samori, who cuts it into the near post, looking for Clark Tozak, but tip over there to clear the danger for Altitude. Sairub though gets the ball taken off his foot there by Rukavina. Suji now doesn't have the space, forced to play it back, and the Whitecaps will recycle it out to the left now. Azamanu let back on the field now for Altitude, back to full strength. No harm done. Shavula does well, chips that one forward for a Hale to run onto. Tries to flick that one forward, but Luka Banovic over with a big boot to send that one into touch, and it's going to bring up a throw into altitude. About the midway in the Whitecaps half, as we're about the midway point of the first half here, into the 23rd minute here at Kinsman Field. If you're just joining us, it's a 1-goal lead for altitude. Oliver Herbert putting the ball away in the 16th minute. And very much deserved from altitude. The home side get another free kick. The Whitecaps have given up a lot of free kicks in the middle of their own half in the early going of this one. Haven't been punished yet. Will that change this time? Sairud feels they're not 10 yards back. Sairud plays it outside now to Shavula. He made the run forward basically unchecked, and then Rukavina noticed and went towards him. That could have been very dangerous for the Whitecaps if they had not closed him down there. Instead, altitude having to settle for a throw-in, and it's going to be tip again over for a long throw. In fact, sorry, it's Marshall that's come over to take this one. Altitude playing it back. They know they can afford to play the patience game now and not try and force anything. They got that early breakthrough. And the way they've been playing, you have to imagine that they're going to be confident that they can get a second before this half is out. Free kick given away though just outside the Whitecaps box. 10 different players have found the back of the net for the Whitecaps this season. Same with altitude. 10 different players have also registered an assist for the Whitecaps this year to the 7 of altitude. Herbert's goal though made him the 11th scorer for the North Shore side this afternoon. That is the difference between these two teams just now. It's great play there from Pinto. Takes that off the feet of Suji. Sairub's now got a chance to send it into the box. It's well blocked by Banovic. And Sairub just goes through the back of Suji. Getting maybe a last warning for the referee. It's a couple of challenges given up for free kicks so far by Sairub. Whitecaps still yet to register a shot on target. The only shot they did get on Ortu, the flag was up for offside. And they've really struggled to get anything going in the final third of altitude. Just no penetration at all. They're losing a lot of the battles in the middle of the park just now as well, which has been a key component of that. And they certainly had to play on the back foot through the first 25 minutes here. Altitude again pick up the loose ball. Shavula cuts inside. Sairub chips it over here for Herbert to run onto. Flashing header there from Herbert. But D'Souza, big keeper. Couldn't find out his height from any of the research that I was doing, but he looks a big lad out there. You're looking at least 6'4", 6'5", I'm thinking. And here go, altitude again. Got a couple of players coming forward. It's played inside to Herbert. Everything seems to be going through Oliver Herbert so far. Herbert and Naheo have been very strong up front and really have been causing a lot of problems to this Whitecaps defence. Dio now bringing this one forward. Tries to thread that through, looking for Samori, but that is just going to run through to Ortu, and he'll take his time picking this one up. Thank you for taking in the action this afternoon on League 1BC's YouTube channel. L1BC would like to acknowledge the following league partners: CIBC, the lead partner for Canada Soccer, the Canadian Premier League and League One; Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel; the Cruyff Institute, educating athletes, sport and business professionals to become leaders in sport management; Derby Star, the official ball of the Canadian Premier League and preferred match ball for League One; Macron, work hard, play harder; Vibrant Performance, Canada's most trusted brand for automotive race parts and accessories; the Canadian Premier League, One Soccer and BC Soccer. As the Whitecaps trying to get something going, they're moving the ball around, but Altitude just letting them control it there on the edge of their final third because they're not getting any further than that so far. The three balls and final delivery has just not been coming off, as another one they are broken up, and now it's a chance here for Altitude to get something going. Aheo takes a touch inside, outside here for Sairub to run onto, and he's muscled off that by Clark Tozak. Clark Tozak, just 20 years old, but is the most experienced player on this Whitecap side this afternoon. Got a couple of years on most of his teammates, 4 years on a couple of them. And that's crazy to think you're the veteran of a team at this level when you're just 20 years old. Espinal muscled off there by Marshall, and I think we've seen a bit of that this afternoon. With it being a younger Whitecap side, they're giving up in some cases 10 years to players that they're up against, and they're bigger, they're older, they're more mature in their bodies, and they're able to muscle them off the ball. And for a lot of these guys on the field and on the bench for the Whitecaps, they've only got limited minutes in League One this season, so this is a big step up from their youth level playing with the under-17s. Even the under-19s that have stepped up for the Whitecaps this year, because this is basically the Whitecaps under-19 side with a few other returning academy alumni spattered into it over the course of the season. And the Whitecaps under-19s, as mentioned, play their winter football in the Fraser Valley Soccer League, so they are used to going up against older opposition, so that's a good grounding and base for them. But this is really the Whitecaps under-17 side as well that made the move up this past season to the under-19 level. Herbert now brings that one down, tries to thread that through for Sairub. Banovic cuts that out again. He's been very good in the centre of defence for the Whitecaps this afternoon. Cuts a very big figure out there. Luka Banovic, the 17-year-old, has been in the cap system now since 2021. Has played the last two L1BC games for the Caps, but is another player that's on the under-17 team in his last year with the 17s. Past the half-hour mark here at Kinsman Field. Altitude holding that narrow 1-0 lead through Oliver Herbert's 16th minute goal. They've enjoyed the lion's share of the possession as well, but just haven't found the breakthrough to get that second. And whilst it stays 1-0, the Whitecaps are very, very much in this one. Nice crossfield ball there from Azamanu. Brought down well by Tinmouth. He'll play that back to his captain Pinto. As the ball comes back to Ambrose Tinmouth, he tries to get that cross in. A little bit taken off it from the deflection. No Altitude players anywhere near that one, and D'Souza will just mop that up. Looking to try and throw that out to Dale here on the right hand side, but Dale hadn't looked back, so forced to hold on to that one. And again, the Whitecaps give it up just before they can get out their own half here. It's relentless pressure from Altitude. Sairub does well to cut to the outside. He's got Haju in front of him, comes back now to Herbert at the edge of the box. He goes for the shot, it's blocked. Ball falls to Shavula. He's got Azamanu behind him. He Plays it back to the Iranian. Sends that across the edge of the box out to Tinmouth. Flicked on to Sairub, who just can't connect with that one. And the ball again runs into the arms of Matheus de Souza. 18-year-old from Surrey. Been in the Whitecap system since August 2021 after making the move from Surrey United. Second season with experience for de Souza in League One. 2 games played last year for the Whitecaps. 3 games played this year after Ben Alexander moved back to college. De Souza's had the bulk of the game since then, with Alex Milosevic, another player that we've seen between the sticks for the Whitecaps this year. Suji tussling away there, and he's been good. He's had the ball taken off him a couple of times, but he's just 16 years old, and Whitecaps highly think of Suji there, and we'll come back to him shortly as the ball falls to Sairub, who gets the shot. It was on target, but takes an important deflection there off Banovic, and it's out for another corner here to Altitude. 4th or 5th of the afternoon, started to lose count now. And although it may not look a glorious sunny day, it is quite warm and muggy on the pitch, and the players starting to maybe feel the effects of that a little bit. As Herbert sends that into the near post, it's flick cleared by Dale. Samori can bring it down, and Altitude will just play this one all the way back to Ortu. Looks like there might be some movement on the Whitecaps bench. They might be able to get a sub on here. As Tip sends that one forward for Herbert to try and bring down. Banovic again over to deal with the danger. Dale can't keep it in. It's going to be out for a throw-in for Altitude. And again, just slowing the pace of the game down a little bit. They don't need to be harem-scarem. The game is the Whitecaps to chase right now. A little bit of miscommunication there, but Altitude not punished too much. They're going to get another attempt at this throw-in. Sairub gets it right on the byline. Goes down in the box looking for the penalty. Referee feeling it goes against Sairub, and he's actually, I'm thinking the yellow card is for dissent and not for embellishment, but first yellow of the afternoon anyway, coming in the 35th minute to Sairub. Sairub trying to use his muscle there. He's one of the older players on this Altitude side, 26 now, in his 3rd year with Altitude in League One. And De Silva muscles his way through here. Getting held off the ball by Azamanu. Appeals for a penalty from the Whitecaps. Nothing in that for me, and nothing in that for referee Ramic either. Whitecaps though, keeping the pressure on here. It's still battling away as Dale, but this time Altitude do break it up, and they're going to get a chance to break here. Herbert out to Aheo. He's got lots of room and lots of pace to do some damage here. He's got Banovic in front of him. Aheo goes for goal, and a diving save to turn that one away from De Souza. As Aheo's shot taken a deflection off the foot of Banovic there. And you saw every inch of De Souza's height there as he turned that one away. Another corner though coming up here for Altitude. 6th of the first half. Sairub heads it in. It's headed clear by Clark Tozak, and just swipe at that one from Giordano Pinto, and that's not going to trouble De Souza in the Whitecaps goal, and the keeper quick to get on with that. Banovic, nice ball up, not brought down well there though by Samori. Whitecaps keeping it alive with Suji. Espinal, he's got room here on the left side. He's got Tip in front of him. Great play there from Espinal. Cut inside. Espinal still has it. Whitecaps getting closed down, not able to get a shot off. Rukavina switches it out to the right now. Dale floats this into the back post, looking for Suji. It's headed clear though by Tinmouth. Back doing a defensive shift. Espinal now. He's having a bit of success out on that left wing, Edwin Espinal, the 19-year-old. And it's going to go out though instead for an altitude throw-in. Edwin Espinal, 1 goal to his name so far this season for the 19-year-old winger. And he has been a bit of a handful in the last few minutes for altitude. Whitecaps have had their best spell of pressure the last few minutes, but still without any ability to carve out a clear-cut opportunity to try and get back on level terms here. It still feels the next goal in this is going to come the way of altitude. For Ewan Fisher, if he can get his side in, at worst, 1 goal down and regroup them at half-time, I'm sure he would be happy with that. It's very important for them, though, that they don't concede a second in the last 7 minutes here. As altitude push again, and it's going to be tipped with another long throw. He's going to send it in there, but waiting until Nathan Walters gets his big frame up into the box. And Tip sends it in. It's bouncing about. Tinmouth can't bring it down. And it's cleared by the Whitecaps. Anywhere will do for them just to get it out of the danger zone. Comes to Marshall, though. He's just going to send it straight back in there. Walters has stayed up, and it just bounces over him and runs through to D'Souza, who tried to look for the quick kick up field, but didn't see that anything was really on. It's just going to go for it now, and I think this one's just going to go up and just bounce through. Marshall, though, can't bring it down, and it falls to Espinal. Gets past the first challenge, doesn't get past the second from Azar Manu. I was keeping my eye on the referee there to see if it was maybe going to be a yellow card for Ali Azar Manu. There has been a couple of challenges from the Iranian in the first half, but the Whitecaps now have a free kick from a dangerous position here. Referee moving it a little bit over. It's more right in front of goal now for the Whitecaps. Angelo Zhu has been the guy that's been on free kick duties. He's not in the lineup this afternoon. It's going to be Espinal that takes it straight in to the wall, though. The 3-man altitude wall doing its job, and it was Oliver Herbert who got the big block there. The former Whitecap shining against his former side. Suji turns away from danger. Nowhere for him to go, though, and the Whitecaps just forced to play that one back. Altitude not given any space for the Whitecaps to get anything going. They're just having to resort to these long balls forward, and they're being mopped up time and time again. It's a big centre-back pairing back there. Nathan Walters, 6'3", and not sure how tall Halk Tip is. Looks about 6'5". His VMSL head coach, Derek Friedman, sitting behind me. I'll try and find out from him at half-time if he knows the height of the big German. There's a few players on this altitude side that do play for Reno's Fury in the VMSL, and that chemistry has certainly helped them this year. A Hale, who doesn't play for Reno's in the VMSL, but does play in the VMSL with Croatia and was the team's leading scorer with 5 goals this year. Has 2 for altitude during the regular season. And his pace has caused some problems out here on the left side for the Whitecaps in the first half. About to move into the final 3 minutes of the first half. Sun starting to break through the clouds here. And the heat level is picking up a bit as Ortu tries to play that out for Marshall. Just carries though into touch, and it's going to be a throw-in for the Whitecaps midway in the altitude half. Dio looking for some movement, just playing it short in the end, and then the Whitecaps playing it back, and Banovic is going to have to put his jets on there to get onto that as he was getting closed down by Sairub. Ferraro now, he's been very quiet in this half. I think that's possibly the first time I've mentioned Riley Ferraro's name, and he's another player that has been very important for the Whitecaps this year with his 2 goals and 1 assist. Ferraro is a North Van native, 17-year-old, dad of former NHL player Ray Ferraro. His mum, a 2-time hockey Olympian as well, Cami Ferraro, captained the US hockey team. As the Whitecaps, Ferraro was involved there as the cross comes in from Espinal. Chavula not taking any chances, just heading that one into touch. And Hadju chasing it down for the throw-in. Ferraro came for it. Manu not giving him that opportunity, and the Whitecaps into the corner there, and they're going to have to really battle to try and get out of it. They do come away with the ball though. Espinal, he's forced to play it back, and it'll come all the way back to Banovic just inside the Whitecaps half. He's got a lot of room forward to bring this though. Played out now to Dale. Altitude happy to just let the Whitecaps keep possession and move it about, because they haven't been able to cause any problems in the altitude box so far into the last minute of this one. And it's going to be a free kick coming up for the Whitecaps. Tackle from Sairub, who's going to have to watch himself. He's on a yellow card. Wonder if that might play a little bit into Falibas's mind when it comes to potential substitutions. Whitecaps only have 5 players on the bench this afternoon. Jaden Mineta, the 5th player that was added in late. And you would expect that you're going to see him on the pitch. He's such an experienced player for the Whitecaps. As Banovic chips that one forward. Should break it up. Herbert gets it just inside his own half. Nice touch and turn, and a through ball for a Hale to chase down. But again, Luka Banovic over to deal with that. Really like the 17-year-old in the centre of that Whitecaps defence. He looks a good prospect for the Whitecaps. Cool, calm, collected on the ball. Looks like Altitude may get the last chance of the first half here. Didn't see the 4th official's board as to how much time was added on, but it cannot be too long, as Tip is going to send this one long into the box. It's a fantastic throw from the German. It's flicked up into the air. Tinmouth can't get his head on it. Takes the deflection though off the Caps defender, and it's out for an Altitude corner. I think that is their 7th of the first half here. And it could be the last action of the first half after this, as Sairub over to take it. Everyone back for the Whitecaps, bar 1 just now. A Sairub, the in-swinger, right on top of the Susan. It goes through the gloves of the big keeper, but he recovers well. And he sends it up the pitch, but there's not going to be any Whitecaps players there. Samori does a good job, though, chasing it down, and Walters has to head that out. That was good pressure there from Matthias Samori. Whitecaps look like they might get one chance to try and find the leveller before half-time. As it's an elbow into the face there of Matthew Marshall. Actually, it's high tip that looks like he's got the elbow to his face. You have to go up some height to get to his face. But went down right away in a lot of pain from that. Trying to explain to the referee what happened, but I don't think the referee saw it. There's no indication from the assistant referee either, and tip still indicating that it was an elbow into his face there. In the dying embers of the first half here, it's been an entertaining one. It's been a close one. Altitude have dominated the possession, and they look to be going into the break with that 1-goal lead. Whitecaps maybe one last chance though to find the equaliser before half time. And they're not going to get a chance to do it. Referee Ramich blows the half-time whistle, and it's Altitude, the hosts, going in with a 1-0 lead at half-time. The only goal of the game coming 16 minutes in. Oliver Herbert showing some good footwork in the box after getting a pass from Stasi Ohio. Skipped past two defenders before blasting it past Mateus de Souza. That is the difference between the two teams, but the Whitecaps still very, very much in this one. Join us in 15 minutes for the second half from Kinsman Field. It should be a cracker. Welcome back to Kinsman Field for the second half of League 1 BC men's semi-final action. It's the hosts Altitude that are leading the Whitecaps 1-0. That goal coming 16 minutes in from former Whitecaps Academy product Oliver Herbert. And we are getting a substitution to start off this second half. And making way is number 34, Riley Ferraro. I'd mentioned in the first half he hadn't really got into the game. And coming in is number 73, Benjamin Lee. That looks to be the only change for the Whitecaps, who only have 5 players on the bench for this one. And it is the Whitecaps that's going to get the second half action underway. I'm Michael McCall. I have the call for you all afternoon, and it should be a cracking second half. The 2 regular season meetings between these two teams finished 1 apiece. Are we in for another 1-1 draw this afternoon? The Whitecaps kicking off, and they've got it all to do in this second half if they want to get to that. If you went with us earlier, I just need a reminder. This game goes straight to penalties if they are tied at the end of the 90 minutes. As the two teams are battling it out for a right to face TSS Rovers in next Sunday's championship game at Swangard Stadium. That one goes at 4 o'clock Pacific time, with the women kicking off at 1 o'clock. I'll have the call for you on League 1 BC YouTube. Even better though, get along to Swangard. It's a long weekend, it's championship final weekend. You've got to get out and support local soccer. You're watching this, you obviously love it. Go out and see it in person, nothing better than that. And Swangard and Kinsman Field, my 2 favourite venues in League 1 BC. And that's where we are this afternoon as Teignmouth picks that ball off, trying to power forward, thinking he could maybe bowl over Clark Tozak there. That wasn't going to happen. And that was a good play from the defender, the Edmontonian, in his 3rd year with the Caps in League 1 BC. Clark Tozak coming off his rookie college season with the University of Rhode Island, where he started and played 14 matches and grabbed himself 2 assists in the process. And he's a player that really impressed in League 1 for the Whitecaps last year as they went on the way to that first championship win for them. Got a good football base as well, because he had a year over in Switzerland with FC Lugano, as well as what he's learned through the Whitecaps system. And he's going to be a key experienced player on the pitch for a young Whitecap side this afternoon. If you weren't with us earlier, as I mentioned, with the 6 WFC 2 call-ups for the Wrexham game yesterday, there's been call-ups from the League 1 squad to WFC 2's game against Real Monarchs down in Salt Lake this afternoon. And the knock-on effect of that is U17 call-ups for the Whitecaps into this League 1 side. So it is a young team out there. A slew of 17-year-olds and a few 16-year-olds on the bench as well. And the Whitecaps have a free kick just inside their own half. Banovic, who's been one of the stars of the first half for the Whitecaps, getting on with it. Samori was closed down very quickly there by Azar Manu, but did a good job to hold on to it. The Whitecaps have another free kick. This time you imagine they're going to send this one high into the box. And they're sending their big bodies up. Rukavina there, the number 95. Clark Tozak and Ben Lee and Banovic as well. They're grouping together. They're going to break off. Is this ball played in by Espinal, just over the head there of Banovic, and that is going to run out. I don't think it's gone out for a corner though. It looks like it's out just for a throw-in, taking a touch off a Altitude player on the way through there. And Cameron Haju, one of these under 17 call-ups, over to take this throw-in. Made his League 1 debut last week in the game at Rivers, seen 21 minutes. players have to have played at least 1 minute in the regular season to be eligible for the playoffs for their teams. As that's a great ball up from tip to Ahale, who was offside, and you've got to stay onside in a chance like that. And that could be an opportunity that the home side may come to rue here. It's a fantastic crowd out at Kinsman Field for this one, looking either side of me, and it is just packed on the bleachers. It's packed along the fence as well. And that's what you love to see, players, fans coming out to support League 1 BC. Thank you for watching wherever you're taking this action in at home, whether live or on demand. If you're watching live and you want to get your thoughts on the game, the League 1 BC season, either of these teams, you can get in touch with me on X/Twitter at AFTN Canada. That's AFTN Canada. We'd love to make these broadcasts interactive. Let us know where you're watching from, your thoughts on the game so far. As the Whitecaps take this free kick, comes back to Espinal. Goes for the shot, but I think the cross was going to be the better option there for Edwin Espinal, and that is high and over the altitude bar. As the first 5 minutes of the second half has flown by here on the North Shore. Beautiful day, little wind taking some of the heat away, but it is very warm down on the pitch. R2 not in any hurry to take this corner or this goal kick. If Altitude can run any time off the clock in the second half, they will take every opportunity to do that. Tip over with another long throw. This is going to be another bomb sent deep into the Whitecaps half. Falls to Ahale, but before he can get a shot off, and Tip will get another chance here with a long throw. Another rocket into the box as Aminu meets it, but his header flies in the air into the welcoming arms of Mateus de Souza. And he'll quickly throw this out for the Caps to get something going up the right-hand side. Hadju plays it forward, no one really in particular, and De Silva chasing Ortu back here. De Silva coming in at pace there, blocking the clearance from the keeper, and Ortu's going to have to watch for that, because that was a fantastic burst of speed there from Cristiano De Silva. Him and Samori were the two players that I highlighted had to really step up for the Whitecaps this afternoon. De Silva, just 17, but he's been so influential in that midfield for the Whitecaps this year. The Poco native joined Whitecaps pre-academy way back in 2019. And it's the Whitecaps really starting this second half strong. And it is De Silva on the ball again, runs out of room in the end, couldn't do too much with it, and takes the touch off Walters into Ortu, and again he'll just take his time, run the seconds off the clock. Tip sends it in the wing, it's cut out though by Dale. And Herbert can't keep this one in. Whitecaps playing with an urgency now. Oh, it's nicely flicked on by Lee into the path of Samori, but just runs through into Ortu there. Samori took a little bit of a knock and just holding his chest or his shoulder there. The Whitecaps cannot afford to lose Mateus Samori. 18-year-old with 4 goals and 3 assists this year for this Whitecaps side, and with Bathuta and Ajagbe, the other joint leading scorers for the Whitecaps, not available this afternoon. They may be looking towards him for goals. Expect to see him go the full 90. Lee put under pressure, but keeps the ball, plays it back to Banovic. Samori battling away, trying to poke it through, but just nothing coming off there for him. Espinal, touch inside now to Lee. Trying to hold up, bundled off the ball by Azar Manu, who doesn't feel he gave away the free kick there, and Suji just wants to get on with this one quickly, as Altitude argue. They need to keep themselves tight, disciplinary-wise. As Banovic forced to play that one back to D'Souza. Talked about the importance of Samori's goals for the Whitecaps. They've scored 22 goals in the regular season. 10 of those goals have come from players either on the pitch just now or in the game day squad. So there is goals in this team, as that through ball looking to try and play in. Samori there, it's just going to run through again though to Ortu. The task facing the Whitecaps though is they are playing the stingiest defence in League One. Just 14 goals given up all season by Altitude. 6 of them came in one game against TSS earlier in the year, and it was that defeat that seemed to galvanise Altitude, and they came back all guns blazing after that, putting a tremendous run into the season. Finished second in the regular season standings, making the playoffs for the first time and hosting their first ever playoff game. And this is an important occasion for the club, who have done so well in their 3 years here in North Vancouver to build this club, to get the support. And you're seeing them reap rewards this afternoon with the packed house here at the historic Kinsman Field. Tip with a long throw in. Dangerously into the box. It's flicked on there by Atos Di Sakera, who has come on at half time as well. Didn't notice Atos coming on. Try and work out who it is that's made way. Only got the indication from the fourth official of the Whitecaps sub, but that's a loose one, almost pounced upon there by Samori Ortu. Quick off his goal, and it's up here for Di Sakera. Muscled off the ball, and D'Souza can't hold on to it, but does get it at the second attempt. And having Di Sakera out there is going to be a real handful for this young Whitecaps backline. The Brazilian, just 2 goals in the season, but he has scored goals aplenty in the Lower Mainland at college and in League One over the last couple of years. As Azar Manu, another foul given away. It's got to be a last warning now for Ali Azar Manu. A yellow card you feel is going to be coming for him. And in fact it now comes, and it's come probably for dissent. And that's the kind of yellow cards that just does a coach's head in. He's going to have to watch himself now, because he is a tough tackling midfielder. Defender turned midfielder, and it's like one misplaced tackle now from Azar Manu. And his side could be in a lot of trouble. Right now though, the Whitecaps still having to chase the game. Banovic plays this one back. Referee saying to wait for the whistle. Whitecaps just keen to get on with things right now. Clark Tozaki, and he's broken down here by Di Sakera, who nicks the ball. He's in and goal. Atos Di Sakera. What a save from D'Souza. He used every inch of his big frame there to stick his legs out and deny the Brazilian a goal. Now it's the Whitecaps up the other end. Da Silva battling away with Walters, who comes away with the ball. What a chance though that was for Altitude to double their lead here in the 59th minute. And you would have put your money on Atos Di Sakera burying that one. That was such a tremendous save by D'Souza. That's going to give him huge confidence for the remainder of this one. Altitude though, pressing again, it's a Hale. Goes to the byline. Beautiful cut back from Mahale. Falls to Tinmouth, who flashes at that one, and that is high and over. Tinmouth got the opening goal for Altitude in the 1-1 draw here back in June. Wasn't able to find the score sheet this afternoon, at least not yet. It's been a very good start to the second half. We hope you are enjoying the action. Remember, you can follow the action all season long by downloading the League One Canada app, as more descent coming from Altitude. They really need to rein this in. They don't want to pick up silly bookings, and they definitely do not want to pick up a red card ahead of the final next week if they are indeed to get there. Benjamin Lee standing over this one, but they'll go short. As I was saying before I got cut off there, download the League One Canada app to keep up to date with all the action, scores, results, standings and more across League One Canada, League 1BC, League One Alberta, League One Ontario, all on the app, available from free in Android and Apple stores. Also, of course, check out the League1BC.ca website. Ortu again slowing things down as we move past the hour mark here in North Vancouver. Ball high up into the Whitecaps half. Header just flies up in the air from Lee. Wasn't sure where that one was coming down. As a Manu battling away. Takes a deflection there off Hadju, and it's going to be out for an Altitude throw-in deep in the Whitecaps half here. And it's going to be tip over again to take this one. Tip. Big one. D'Souza can't collect it, but he does at the second attempt. It's a couple of balls now that's gone through the hands of D'Souza at the first attempt, but he has been a lucky lad so far and managed to get it at the second. Tip. Dispossessed there as the Whitecaps try to bring this forward. Lee trying to claim he's getting fouled by Azamanu. And Azamanu in return gets fouled there by Lee right in front of the referee, so he was not going to miss that one for sure. And Tip will just play that back to Nathan Walters. And Walters brings this forward, cross field ball, looking to try and play in a hail. We know he's got the speed on him, and Hadju not taking any chances, putting that one into touch. A great ball forward there from Nathan Walters. And we've got a tweet in from Orlando Walters, who is watching on YouTube, following Altitude for 3 years from England. Wants to give big congratulations to his nephew, Nathan. As the ball comes back to Disa Kera, who hits that one high and over there. And as Orlando says, Nathan Walters, another impressive season with Altitude under his belt. And Falibas sensibly not taking any more chances with Ali Azarmanu. He's on that yellow. He's a tough tackling midfielder. And I think the next challenge from Azarmanu is going to see him going off. Coming on instead is number 23, Lucas Booth. Booth got 2 goals in the second half last week in Altitude's big 4-0 win over Burnaby, a win that secured them second spot and home field advantage in the playoffs, and they have made it pay well so far. Dominated the first half, deservedly going in with the lead, but it was a domination that easily could have led to more goals, and they didn't get that killer second. Will they be punished by it? Whitecaps have started this half strongly. Altitude, though, in the last few minutes have started to regroup and take this game back over again. Tip, little give and go with Tinmouth. Disakera can't bring that one down. Now Lee will bring this forward for the Caps. Pokes it forward to Samori. Gets away from Booth. Samori tries to play in Suji. And it was the right idea, or too quickly off his line, though, to smother that danger. So we know we have someone from England taking the action in. Are you watching any further afield? Let us know on Twitter/X at AFTN Canada. Altitude 25 minutes away from a place in next week's championship game. The Whitecaps, though, will still have a lot to say about that. Tinmouth inside to Herbert. He's driving forward. Eventually closed down by Lee. By Rukavina, sorry, and Herbert turns Rukavina, places it inside to Disakera. Oh, and off the post from Disakera. Herbert now into the box. Touches it outside to Tinmouth, who sends a good ball in. It's flapped away there by D'Souza. Altitude pushing hard now for the second, still keeping the pressure on. And this time it's cleared by Clark Tozak as the shot comes in. That was great play by Oliver Herbert to set that up. And then Disakera got the shot out of nothing in the end. It looked like he was struggling to get that out of the grass with the traffic in front of him. Managed to poke that one towards goal, and it just hits off the right post. And the Whitecaps are leading a charmed life just now. Altitude, though, keeping the pressure on now from this corner. 66th minute. Comes into the near post. It's cleared just to the edge of the box to Disakera again. What a strike that was, and what a save that was from D'Souza. He's had two absolutely fantastic saves this afternoon to deny Disakera. And Disakera is going to wonder where his luck's gone. I don't know. Maybe broke some mirrors on the way in this afternoon. As the ball comes in, it's bouncing through everyone. A Hale can't get it out. Tracks back though. Plays it back to Tip. He sends that back into the box, and that was a dangerous one. The hit off Rukavina could have fallen anywhere there, but runs through to D'Souza. He quickly just rolls it out for the Caps to get on with this. This has been a hugely enjoyable second half. We hope you are enjoying the action wherever you're taking it in from. It's been a good showcase for League 1BC, as was the first men's semi-final as well. The 4-1 scoreline for TSS didn't tell the story of the game. Harborside had a couple of fantastic chances in the second half, and they should have been 3-all. As Espinal gets the ball. Still Edwin Espinal can't find the room to get the shot. Falls to Suji now, who does get the shot in. Takes a deflection on the way through, and it's going to be out for a Whitecaps corner here. As we're into the 67th minute, moving into the 68th. And the midway point of the second half approaches. Just a quarter of the game remaining for the Whitecaps to try and find this leveller and try and take it to at least penalty kicks. You see the wind at the corner flag. It's blowing in Altitude's favour as Caps send this outswinger, and it swings out past everyone over the head of Clark Tozak, who goes down. That's a silly foul to give away there by Tinmouth. It's in such a dangerous position, and we know the Whitecaps players have some very good delivery from these set pieces, and they've benefited several times over the season from them. It's a two-man wall lined up for Altitude. Hadju and Espinal standing over it. It's going to be Hadju that takes it. It's a good in-swinger there from Hadju. Walters gets his head on it, and that was a dangerous one that could have gone anywhere. In the end, it's high and over, and it's going to bring up a second corner in quick succession here for the Whitecaps, and it's going to be Edwin Espinal over to take this one again. Looking at the two benches, and there doesn't seem to be much movement on too many of them. The Whitecaps are going to get set to make a substitution shortly, but that seems to be the only one that's going to be coming up as De Silva goes short. Gets it back now to Espinal. Tries to chip that in the box. It's cleared by Altitude, not too far though. And Dale forced to play that one back to Hadju. He'll now switch it out to the right side. Hesitation there, and it's picked off well by Shavula. Aheo now. He's got Shavula to his left. Finds him. Altitude could do it. Gets some numbers in the box. Comes back now to Aheo. Disakera, the only man there. Aheo goes for goal, and it had D'Souza scrambling. And it takes a touch off the keeper, and it's going to be out for an Altitude corner here. That was great work there from Stasio Hale. Didn't have much to work with, but did that so well. And the Whitecaps holding off their substitution just now as Herbert gets set to send this corner in. He's already got a goal to his name this afternoon. Can he get an assist here? Can Altitude get a killer second? Herbert's a good delivery, but it went out and back in. It's the second time we've seen that this afternoon on that side. And now we will get the substitution. And it's a surprising one for me, but I do wonder if it was that knock that he maybe took. But it's Matteo Samori making way, joint leading scorer for the Whitecaps. And coming on is number 81, Ethan Stiver. Made his debut against Rivers on July 14th. Actually, that would be July 20th. Got 15 minutes in that one. Got an assist as well. In fact, I don't think it was Rivers. I think it was the Burnaby thing. I think I've just written the wrong thing in my notes there. But he has featured just in the one game so far this year, Ethan Stiver, and he got an assist in that one. The Whitecaps could do with him. Coming up big this afternoon as Suji brings this forward. Touch inside to Lee. Suji makes the run, and what a tackle that is. The ball breaks no to Stiver, and what an immediate impact by Ethan Stiver. He's just on the pitch for mere seconds, and he tucks it away, and the Whitecaps are back on level term here in the 71st minute. It's Altitude 1, Whitecaps 1, and it is very much game on here at Kinsman Field. An inspired substitution by Ewan Fisher. Who were me to question taking Matteo Samori off there when Stiver has that kind of impact? But you've got to give some fantastic credit to Yuma Suji as well. Suji had won the ball twice to set that chance up, and it fell nicely. But here at the other end, go Altitude as Disakera tussling away, and a big clearance there from Clark Tozak. Altitude, I said they may rue those missed opportunities. In the first half they were dominant, and they've had 3 big opportunities in the second half. 2 fantastic saves from Mateus D'Souza has kept his side in the game. And now they are very much in the game. Has the pendulum swung in the Whitecaps' favour here? Suji again. What a game this 16-year-old has had. De Silva chips it in to Espinal, and he can't connect with that. It was over the head of Ortu. Espinal diving in there, just couldn't connect on that. And the Caps almost take the lead. What a change in fortunes this has been. Altitude, what do they have in response? Here goes Herbert. He's got the first goal. Trying to do maybe too much there, goes down there. That was definitely looking for the penalty from Oliver Herbert. There was very little contact there, but he had completely run out of room, so there wasn't anywhere for him to go except down. And a reminder, if you indeed need it or you're late in joining us, this game goes straight to penalties if they're tied at 1-1 at the end of the 90 minutes. We're going to get a substitution coming up soon from Altitude as well. Tip Great footwork from the centre-back. Touch inside, flick to the outside by Disakera. Booth. Aheo can't bring that one down. It's cleared by the Whitecaps. Now, it's interesting for the coaches now in terms of substitutions, because with this game going straight to penalties, you don't necessarily want to take off who is going to be one of your 5 penalty takers, and you don't want to stick somebody on that is not confident in taking penalties. But you also want to try and get a game changer on to try and win it in the 90 minutes. And Booth is certainly one of those as he goes for goal. It's a long, low one, easily dealt with though by Mateus de Souza. This has been an absolutely cracking match from start to finish, but this second half has definitely been worthy of a semi-final. As Booth does well to dispossess Suji there. Touches it forward to Herbert. Nice turn from Herbert. Goes for the shot, takes a deflection! And it's tipped away at the last minute there by de Souza. I thought that had just squeezed past him, but it just went on the other side of the post. And another close call for Altitude, and another big save from Mateus de Souza. If Altitude don't come away with a win here, they are going to look back at these opportunities and wonder where this has come from. De Souza's been inspired, though, this afternoon. Shavula to Tinmouth. Whitecaps, though, clear it. Suji, another player that deserves a lot of plaudits this afternoon. And if the Whitecaps can come through this one, considering how short-handed they are. Short-handed bench, under 17 call-ups all around. This would be one of their best results of the season. I said they would not want to give up their title defence anytime soon, and that has been the case. And making way now for Altitude is Stasi Aheo, the number 10. He's put in a really good shift out there. Coming on is number 35, Henry Godbout. We'll see what impact Godbout makes. He's a 19-year-old. Had the VMSL season with VWFC Hibernian. He's a midfielder. Spent his youth down in the States with Washington's Crossfire Academy. As that ball up the wing just runs away there from Wiz Shavula. And as the ball goes out, League 1BC would like to acknowledge the following league partners: CIBC, the lead partner for Canada Soccer, the Canadian Premier League and League One; Gatorade, Rehydrate, Replenish, Refuel; the Cruyff Institute, educating athletes, sport and business professionals to become leaders in sport management; Derby Star, the official ball of the Canadian Premier League; and Preferred Match Ball for League One. I'll break off here as Altitude on the attack. Godbout immediately in the thick of the action, not able to have the same immediate impact as Ethan Siver just did for the Whitecaps. League 1BC would also like to thank Macron, a vibrant performance, the Canadian Premier League, One Soccer and BC Soccer. Herbert, the ball comes through to him, it's just behind him and he just couldn't pick that one out and get the shot off. It was nice play from Lucas Booth to set that one up though. This is going to be end-to-end stuff in the last 12 minutes here. Do not go anywhere. There are fireworks expected. Here's Lucas Booth. Does well to keep hold of that one. Cuts it back to the edge of the box. Oh, and that's put away by Lucas Booth. It was Godbout who was doing the hard work out on the wing, and he cuts it back to Booth right on the edge of the box. And it's another sub making a difference in this one. 79 minutes gone and Altitude back in the lead here at Kinsman's Field. It's Altitude 2, Whitecaps 1. Lucas Booth with his third goal now of the season. He scored 2 last weekend and he's got another one tonight, and this one could be the most important one of all. 11 minutes of this one left, and Altitude have 1 foot in the championship final once again. And the 2 subs combining there. Henry Godbood cutting it back. Fantastic work from him out wide. Apologies, I thought that was Booth that had the ball there, but Booth on the edge of the box, it was cut back. And an 18-yard low one. Nothing De Souza could do that time to keep it out. And it's going to be interesting now to see how Altitude approach the last 10 or so minutes here. Yellow card coming out for Shavula. Whitecaps just have over 10 minutes to keep this one alive. They've come back once. Can they do it again? The previous 2 meetings finished in 1-0 draws, so these 2 teams very familiar with draws against each other. And De Silva, nice play. Still De Silva sends it into the box. Walters with the important head on that, and Tip will just send us up the field. And for Altitude just now, they just want to get it out of their danger zone, up the other end of the pitch where Whitecaps can't do any damage. And poor kick out there from De Souza is going to give the ball right back to Altitude. Godboot plays that throw in forward. Now it comes to Herbert. He goes for the long range effort. Takes a deflection that takes a lot of the sting out of that one. And De Souza easily dealing with that one. Quickly on with it out to Suja, but he's closed down well there by Booth. Shavula now turns away, gives it back to Booth. Goes for goal again. This time he can't get it on target, and that'll just run behind. The Whitecaps keen to get on with this one quickly. High up, it's flicked on by De Silva, mopped up though by Walters. The Caps are going to throw everything at Altitude in the closing minutes here. Everyone back in the Altitude half for the home side, and it's a loose one there from Clark Tozak, and you don't see that from him very often. And that's going to break that one up and again give Altitude the chance to slow things down. Get a throw in the Whitecaps half and make another substitution as with Shavula making way. Again, I wonder if with him now being on a yellow card, they don't want to take any chances. And coming on, number 15 is Caleb Voth. Voth, a 17-year-old that plays for Fally Bass's FC Fally Academy. Coming off a fantastic under-21 season, Caleb Voth, where was a VMSL under-21 and a U21 BC Challenge Cup champion by FC Fally Blues. We'll see what difference he can make to Altitude now as they look to put the game to bed. Corner comes in, and it's met again by Booth. He feels it came off a Whitecaps player. From my angle, it looked like that was hidden goal bound, but went behind in the end. And again, the Whitecaps quick to get on with it. And they're building out the back, but every time they're doing that, they're getting shut down quickly by Altitude. It's a nice ball forward for Espinal. Flag flight stays down on De Silva. De Silva gets past Walters, cuts it back perfectly to Rukavina, and what a block! Henry Godboot not only sets up the goal that stands as the winner, by putting a defensive shift in. You thought Rukavina was going to bury that one, but Henry Godboot, what a block that was, and that could be a block that sends Altitude all the way to next week's championship game. De Silva, fantastic work to set that one up as well. The Caps pushing hard though. Espinal. What a save at the near post by Ortu. Whitecaps throwing everything right now at Altitude, and everyone back for Altitude in their own box. They're defending very, very deeply just now. They're not going to be able to get this out far if they get hold of it. Ewan Fisher even telling Hadju to come further up the field because he was standing at the halfway line. So Hadju now in the midway point of the Altitude half. As Espinal sends us into the near post. Walters flicks that one. That was a dangerous one. That could have gone anywhere. Luckily for Altitude though, it runs all the way through to Rukavina. Lee. He's forced to play that back to Hadju. And he's pressurised by Godbout. Sorry, by Voth. Caps trying to get on with this as quickly as they can. Altitude just trying to run as much time off the clock as they can. Here they go again. De Silva. Gets past one, gets past two, but an important foot in there from Nathan Walters. Puts it out for another. Corner kick here for the Whitecaps. Altitude waiting to make another substitution here. They will not want to make it when a corner's about to come in. Espinal now looking to send another corner kick in. They've caused some panic with some of these. It's over the heads of the first players. It's cleared though by tip only as far as Hadju. He's immediately getting closed down by Voth. And it's going to come all the way back now to D'Souza, and that is not where the Whitecaps want to be in the closing minutes. Penned into their own half here. It's a loose one in this wind. That really could have gone anywhere. Ambrose Tinmouth making way for Altitude here, and he'll take his sweet time going off the pitch, which if you're an Altitude fan or coach is exactly what you want to happen right now. And that's a heavy challenge there on Booth, and Whitecaps getting a little bit desperate now as they try to find a late leveller here to send this one into extra time. Caps bringing it forward. De Silva up the right wing here. He's got a lot of space in front of him. He's only got a couple of options in the middle. They're coming forward now in numbers, the Whitecaps. De Silva sends it in, can't get it past Walters though. And Lee tries to flick that on, but it's a little shove in the back of Caleb Voth. And Altitude just very welcoming of that one. It breaks things up, it slows things down. We'll keep an eye on the fourth official to get an indication as to how much time might get added on here. Yayo Matumbo, incidentally, the player that came on for Altitude at that last change. Godboot. Touch inside here to Herbert. Herbert goes for goal, and he finds it! He sneaks it past D'Souza, and Altitude have booked their place in the 2024 League 1 BC Championship game. A fantastic finish, a fantastic performance, and it's 3-1 to Altitude. And the Whitecaps' defence of their League 1 title is over. And the stands shaking here at Kinsman Field. The Altitude fans round about me absolutely jubilant. And rightly, they have to be that. That was good play. The Whitecaps had to open up a little bit. They were chasing that goal. It left them a little bit short at the back. And they were punished heavily for it. Sakera coming back from a 5-minute minimum time to get added on here. So there is still time for the Whitecaps to try and get back into this one. Whitecaps time running out fast for them to get something going here. Espinal chips it into the box, up in the air from Walters. He does well to get it the second attempt, and what a clearance that is from Hauk Tip. That's for Sakera to try and chase down. It's flicked inside to Caleb Voth. Brings it down well, touch outside to Herbert. He's got Booth to his outside. Booth gives it back to Herbert, who goes for goal, and he just misses and puts it past the left post. That would have been the icing on the cake for Altitude there if they could have got a fourth. Oliver Herbert on the hat-trick there, close to getting it. Whitecaps though will push to the very, very end. It's at this time of the game we like to give our AFTN players of the game, and for the Whitecaps, a couple of good performances out there. Yumo Suji was excellent for them. Have to give it though to Matthias D'Souza. A string of huge saves from the big keeper to keep his side very much in this one. He's been outstanding this afternoon, and from an Altitude point of view, every single man out there has been brilliant, but it has to go to the man that's just playing that pass, Oliver Herbert, for his 2 goals. As Matumbo now, another former Whitecaps Academy alumni. Three minutes left in stoppage time for Altitude to hold on and for the Whitecaps to try and find the breakthrough. Walters with a big clearance up to Voth. Broken up by Banovic, who's another Whitecaps player that had a fantastic first half. Haven't noticed him as much in the second, but that's not to say that he wasn't playing well, because they did manage to keep Altitude off the score sheet until the final 7 minutes again. Banovic forward to Suji. Caps still pushing. They still believe they can do some damage here. But Herbert chips that forward to Voth. Voth keeps hold of it. Great tackle there from Banovic. It's won back though by Herbert. And cleared by Clark Tozak. Sumi turns away. Fouled though by Lucas Booth. As a good foul to give away from an Altitude perspective right now. Just over 90 seconds of the minimum of 5 that were allocated left to go. It would take something very special from the Whitecaps now to force this one to penalty kicks. They will not give up until the final whistle sounds, though. Lee, touch forward to Suji, skips away from Booth. Nice ball through, doesn't fall to Rukavina, who had a great chance to put the Whitecaps back on the scoreboard as well. Disakera does a good job there, wins his side. Another throw in deep in Whitecaps territory. We're in to the last minute of the 5 that were allocated by the 4th official. And Altitude are seconds away from making history for this club in their 3rd year in existence. They've been the form team in the second half of the season, and that form has taken them to next week's championship game at Swangard as D'Souza collects that one. Quickly rolls it out. Lee forced to turn that away under the pressure. Pinto doing a good job. The captain playing it forward now to Booth, who does well to get that contact and go down there. Lucas Booth, he's the man with the game-winning goal, the 21-year-old from North Van. And there goes the final whistle. Altitude are going to the championship game at Swangard next Sunday. They'll take on TSS Rovers in a battle between the top 2 teams in the regular season in League One. It finishes here at Kinsman Field. Altitude 3, Vancouver Whitecaps 1. 2 goals for Oliver Herbert. He opened the scoring in the 16th minute. Ethan Stiver, an immediate impact as a sub in the 81st, drawing things level. Lucas Booth gave Altitude a 2-1 lead 2 minutes later before a huge saving tackle in the box denied Rukavina, making it 2-2. And then Oliver Herbert put the game to bed in the 88th minute, and it finishes Altitude 3, Whitecaps 1. And next Sunday is going to be a huge battle between Altitude and TSS Rovers. We'll have the call for that one. Join us next weekend as we have both of the championship games on the League One YouTube. I've been Michael McCall. Thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us, and we'll catch you at the pitch again soon.